Hi there, you're watching Why Can't You Stop Checking Your Phone? Your phone buzzes. You glance down before you even decide to. Then again, 10 minutes later. Then again, before you've finished your coffee. You tell yourself it's just a habit, but the real answer is far stranger. That urge didn't start with smartphones. It didn't start with the internet or radios or newspapers. It started over 1 million years ago on open grassland, where your ancestors weren't looking for notifications. They were looking for threats and food and anyone watching them back. Think about the last time you checked your phone for no reason at all. No message was waiting. No app had refreshed. You just looked anyway. Why? Your brain didn't evolve to ignore uncertainty. It evolved to chase it. Picture an early human standing at the edge of a clearing 60,000 years ago. The grass moves. Is it wind or is it a predator? She can't know without looking, so she looks every single time, because the cost of not looking just once could be her life. Multiply that decision across 100,000 generations, and you get a brain permanently tuned to one setting. Check first, relax later. This reflex has a name. Researchers call it vigilance, and it didn't disappear when the predators did. It simply lost its target. It found a new one in the 1950s, inside a small lab at Harvard. The psychologist B.F. Skinner placed pigeons inside box after box, training them to peck a lever for a food pellet. Some pigeons received a pellet every single time they pecked, a perfectly predictable reward. Others received pellets randomly, sometimes after one peck, sometimes after 20, with no pattern they could ever learn. Guess which pigeons pecked harder, longer, and more obsessively? Not the ones who knew what to expect, the ones who didn't. Skinner named this pattern variable ratio reinforcement, and it turned out to be the single most powerful behavioral hook he ever tested, stronger than a guaranteed reward, stronger than no reward at all. The uncertainty itself became the addiction. You are not a pigeon, but your brain runs on the same ancient currency, dopamine. And dopamine isn't really a pleasure chemical, despite what most people assume. The neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, who spent decades studying stress and reward circuitry in primates at Stanford, traced dopamine's real job, and it's stranger than pleasure. Dopamine doesn't spike when you receive a reward. It spikes when you anticipate one, especially when you're not sure it's coming at all. That's the trap, not the message, the maybe. Every time you unlock your phone without a clear reason, you're not checking for information. You're checking for the possibility of information. A like, a reply, a headline that changes something. Somewhere in your nervous system, your phone has become the grass moving at the edge of the clearing. And you, without realizing it, are still that early human, scanning for whatever might be hiding inside it. But there's a second layer to this story, one most people never notice, because it isn't about danger at all. It's about belonging. For most of human history, you lived in a group of no more than around 150 people. That number isn't a rough guess. The British anthropologist Robin Dunbar compared primate brain size to social group size across dozens of species and found a consistent ceiling. The bigger the social brain, the bigger the group it could track, but only up to a limit. For humans, that limit landed somewhere near 150 meaningful relationships. Beyond that, keeping track of who owed you a favour, who resented you, and who might defend you in a fight became too expensive for any brain to manage. Inside that group, knowing your standing wasn't idle curiosity. It was survival information. Falling out of favour could mean losing access to food, protection, or a mate. So your brain built a constant low-hum monitoring system, always running quietly in the background. Are you in? Are you out? Has anything changed since this morning? That system never came with an off switch. Now you carry, in your pocket, a device connected not to 150 people, but to thousands, sometimes millions. Every notification taps directly into that ancient social monitoring circuit. A comment on your photo isn't just a comment. Somewhere beneath the surface, your brain logs it the way it would log a nod of approval from someone important in the tribe. Are you still in? The phone promises to answer that question every time you glance at it. It rarely actually does, but the promise alone is enough to pull your hand toward it. Here's the part that should surprise you. You'd expect that more time spent checking in, more tiny social signals arriving throughout the day, would leave you feeling more secure, more reassured. The opposite tends to happen. The psychologist John Cacioppo, who studied loneliness and social connection for over 2 decades at the University of Chicago, found that constant, low-quality social contact doesn't satisfy the brain's underlying need for belonging. In some cases, it deepens the hunger instead. The signals arriving through a screen are too small and too fast to register as genuine reassurance. Your ancient monitoring system evolved for slow, face-to-face confirmation, a real smile, a hand on your shoulder, not a notification that flashes once and disappears. So the very system that once kept your ancestors alive on open grassland now keeps you anxious on your own couch. Same hardware, wildly different environment. Nobody ever rewired the connection in between. Consider what this means the next time you reach for your phone mid-conversation, or in the dark, right before you fall asleep. You are not weak in those moments. You are not lacking discipline, no matter how often you've told yourself otherwise. You are running software built across 1,000,000 years for grasslands and tribes, software that has no idea it's sitting inside. A world engineered, often deliberately, to exploit exactly that programming. Every app with unpredictable refresh timing is leaning on Skinner's pigeons. Every notification, dot without a number, attached, is leaning on Sapolsky's dopamine research. Every someone liked your post, without revealing who, is leaning on Dunbar's 150. Does that mean you're powerless against it? No. But it does mean the fix was never going to be willpower alone, because willpower was never built to outmuscle 1,000,000 years of programming. The fix is environment. Remove the unpredictable trigger, and the ancient urge has nothing left to respond to. The early humans who survived longest weren't the ones who suppressed their vigilance through sheer effort. They were the ones who learned when the threat was real and when it had already passed, so the system could finally rest. You can build that same discipline today, not by fighting the reflex head-on, but by understanding exactly what it's responding to. Tonight, your phone will buzz again, and for 1/2 second, before you even consciously decide to, your hand will start moving toward it. That's not a flaw sitting somewhere inside your character. That's a feature that kept your ancestors alive long before screens, before fire, before language itself. You're not addicted to your phone. You never were. Not really. You're hardwired to a single question. It asks you every time it lights up. The same question your ancestors asked every time the grass moved at the edge of the clearing. The question was never, what's the message? It was always, is it safe to look away? Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe.